Should the Patriots add another wide receiver? Past Diggs, this wide receiver room, kind of mediocre. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about a Romeo Doubs trade. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And before we get today's show started, the bosses challenged me. They've seen the videos not have a lot of likes on each one, so they challenged me to get to 350 on today's show. I know we can do it. We smashed that like record on one of the videos a couple weeks ago and got 1,200 likes. So I know Patriots Nation can make things happen. So if you could, hit that thumbs up icon. It's free. It's easy. All you got to do is just click it, and let's prove the bosses wrong. Let's show them that we can do this. 350 likes on the video. All right, so Romeo Doubs trade. Well, I wasn't thinking about this, but he is on his last year of his rookie deal. It's a very low cap hit of $3.5 million. And a person from FanSided, if you go look at all the NFL websites that are out there, Winston Wilcox, he said this about a potential Romeo Doubs trade. Maye is in great position, as in Drake Maye, and the opportunity to add Doubs would only amplify that. The Patriots are doing everything they can to make sure Maye can succeed. He can do that with or without Doubs. That I can agree with. He can make wide receivers better himself. But if the Patriots do relieve the Packers from their overcrowded receiver room, it could be what helps Maye reach new heights. I can't even speak today. That's the problem. That's a problem. But we'll get through this. Now, trading for Doubs, I never really thought about it. I like Romeo Doubs. He's a solid wide receiver, and It's interesting, and I would probably say this. I'm not entirely against it, and I said this at the top half of the show, that past Stefon Diggs, this wide receiver room is kind of just mediocre at best. I mean, he's 6'2", 204, solid numbers. He's not your wide receiver one, but we don't need a wide receiver one. But past Stefon Diggs, Kyle Williams is a rookie. You have Pop Douglas as your slot receiver. Who's that number 3 guy? Who's going to be that number 3 guy? Is it going to be Mack Hollins? Is it going to be Kayshon Boutte? And I'm saying all these names because the Patriots wide receiver is just as overcrowded as the Green Bay Packers wide receiver room is. They have Christian Watson, who's a great deep threat. So is Romeo Doubs really he's just kind of there. So the Packers could look to get rid of him. And I said some names like Kendrick, Bourne, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, and then my favorite guy, who I can't wait to see him at the next mandatory OTAs, Afton Chisholm. All right, well, contradict myself, mandatory minicamp. But Romeo Doubs, he would be a solid wide receiver 2, especially as a deep threat. If, let's say, I've seen possibilities that Mack Hollins might not make the roster. He did not practice yesterday at OTAs. But his stats, solid. Not your number one, 601 yards, 600 yards. And then in 2022, he was also dealing with a little bit of injuries in his rookie year. But for me, Romeo Doubs would help Drake Maye a lot. You have your guy on one side of Stefon Diggs, and then Pop Douglas. So that's a slot guy. With Romeo Doubs, it would just increase your deep threat. And if we look at his PFF stats, which I looked at for you guys on 20-plus yard throws, he's terrific. 93.7 last season, 95.7 in his second year, and in 2022 was 79.4. But I'll grant it, rookie year, not your greatest. But that is impressive to me because not only he's just getting better each and every year. And one thing I want to see the Patriots do, and I want to see Drake Maye do going into 2025, is just find your deep ball. Because we know how much of a cannon that Maye has. We know he can throw the ball deep down the field, and you need to find that deep threat target. Because, Kayshon Boutte is fast. Stefon Diggs is fast. Pop Douglas is fast. Kyle Williams is fast. They're not really your deep threat guy. You signed Mack Hollins, but personally, I think Romeo Doubs is a lot better than Mack Hollins. There is one slight problem that I have with Doubs, and that he drops a lot of passes. And it's not something he's really got better with as his career's gone on. He averages 4.5 or 4.75, do the math, 5 and 2 out of his 3 seasons in the NFL. It's a 9.8% drop rate. That's the 19th worst among 84 wide receivers who were targeted at least 50 times. Now, I think Jordan Love is a good quarterback, so it's not like, all right, he's getting a bad pass thrown to him. These are just right here. These are targetable catches. That's a bad problem to have as a wide receiver. And that's something that you should take in consideration if you want to trade for the wide receiver of Doubs. Now, he would just automatically, you put him in this system, deep threat, easily. You go up there, just throw him up the ball. I can see it now. F it. Romeo Doubs is out there somewhere. He would help Drake Maye a ton. And it's not going to cost much. He's on his last year of his rookie deal, which is $3.57 million, which I have for you guys on a little lower third, but I already gave you a little peek for it. The Patriots have the most cap space in the NFL, $67 million. Like, they can do whatever they want with that cap space because 67 going into 2026, yeah, you can make a little bit of deals here and there just to make your team better this year. A 1-year rental for Romeo Doubs, and that cap hit drops you only down to $63 million. What else are you going to do with $63 million? You might as well use it. If you can't for a 1-year deal of Romeo Doubs, why not? Why not? I'd do it probably in a heartbeat. The question is, what is that trade value going to be? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I got to tell you guys, if you want the Patriots to trade for Romeo Doubs, go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon, smash it. We got to beat that likes record, people. The goal is 350, but if we can skyrocket that, let's do that. Let's do that. And I'm going to be completely honest here. Besides Diggs, he's coming off his ACL injury, which he looked absolutely amazing in OTAs. If you can go watch some of the videos, I've tweeted a couple of them out. He's faster than Kayshon Boutte. He's faster than a lot of guys, faster than Jalen Polk. Coming off ACL surgery less than a year ago. It's insane to see. I think he's going to be ready week 1. But if he gets hurt, this receiving group is absolutely cooked. It's cooked. They were last in the NFL last year in majority of the statistics. And you're going in with your same wide receiver group that you had a year ago. You're going in with Pop Douglas as your number 1, and then you bring in Williams as your 2. Mack Hollins is your 3. Kendrick, Bourne, Kayshon Boutte. These are all guys that we had here last year, and they were terrible. So if Diggs goes down, good luck. Now, that's God forbid he goes down. I don't want to see him go down. So you probably should add another depth piece in wide receiver, and it's honestly, you probably wouldn't have to give up that much. On a last year of his rookie deal, it's a 1-year rental. He's not your wide receiver 1. This is what I came up with, and it's 2 players. Now, they have an overcrowded wide receiver room, but let's get rid of Javon Baker. And we'll get that in a second. But also, the Packers need an edge rusher, and Anthony Jennings is kind of the odd man out here when you have Keon White, who's going to have a breakout year this year. You signed Clavon Chason, and you also have Harold Landry on the edge. You drafted Braden Swinson. There's too many guys. Anthony Jennings is kind of your odd man out when you're only getting 2.5 sacks. Yeah, you're a good run defender, but you're expendable. So send him to the Packers for a 5th-round pick. And I say Javon Baker, but I really don't believe that the Packers would take him. They already have so many wide receivers. There's no need for him. But I say that because I think his time could be up in New England. It might be time for Javon Baker to leave. Let's just put it. I was trying to think of a little catchphrase. No, let's just put it how it is. Leave. And we saw it last week at OTAs. He was in the opening workouts. He dropped the pass. Easy drop pass. Jalen Polk also dropped the pass, but I'll give him a little bit. But there is another reason. Not only were you dropping passes, well, according to Mark Daniels, who was at Patriots OTAs last week, he said this about Javon Baker, which proves that he's still immature as hell. Securing the ball, Baker flexed his right arm, started to celebrate, and jog very slowly to the sidelines. And that pissed off Mike Vrabel because the rest of the huddle was just sitting there waiting, standing around, waiting for Baker to return so they can keep doing reps. And Javon Baker didn't even realize what he did until Vrabel had words for him. And then after practice, Mike Vrabel kept talking about that one specific play and walked all the way to the locker room. Just continue to coach him. Let's just put it out as he scolded him. So that's not a good impression you want to make. That's not a very good impression you want to make at all. So it might be his time up. So, but I'm gonna go back to this trade. Romeo Doubs, you get Doubs. You give up a 5th-round draft pick, Javon Baker, or Anthony Jennings. Let me know down in the comments. Would you make this trade, or am I an idiot for this trade? And tell me, would you want to get rid of Javon Baker or Anthony Jennings? Type T for trade or type P for pass. I'm accepting it. You don't lose that much depth at your edge rusher. You get a depth piece in Doubs. Deep threat for your second-year quarterback. Helps him tremendously develop. And you also have him in the Josh McDaniels system, and I think that helps a lot. Now, before we get into what I want to talk about at the end of the show, I found a new deal for you guys. You can see I'm always wearing different Patriots gear. I got a nice quarter zip on. And guess where this came from? Fanatics. And guess where you can get this shirt on? Fanatics. Chatsports.com/PatsT. It is almost 60% off. It's only $15, guys. If you live in a state where it doesn't have sales tax, like I used to back when I lived in Delaware, it's $15. Get yours today. It's a beautiful shirt. I actually went and bought mine off that using that link, so go do it yourself. Chatsports.com/PatsT. Have that in the comments and description of today's video. Also, another reason why I think Javon Baker could just be out of here is because of this guy right here, Efton Chisholm. I love him. I'll just point blank. I love this dude. He's awesome. 7 targets, 7 receptions in Monday's OTAs. Undrafted free agent out of Eastern Washington. Broke Cooper Kupp's records, and he was getting first-team reps with Drake Maye. The coaches love him. The fan base is starting to love him. The media is starting to love him. He's going to make this team, and that leaves a guy out. Who's that guy going to be? Probably Javon Baker. Hate to say it, but it's probably going to be Javon Baker. That's going to do it for today's episode of Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Don't forget to hit that big red sub button and subscribe. We're on our way to 27,000 subscribers. And hit that thumbs up icon. Let's break 350 likes. I'm your host, Brett Alper, and as always, let's go Pats.